Why the Sheldon is the perfect place for music and art. We'll have that story next on City Corner. I'm Steve Potter, and welcome to City Corner. Well, the Sheldon Art Galleries, or the Sheldon Concert Hall, I've messed it up already. It's the Sheldon Concert Hall and Art Galleries is on Washington Avenue in Grand Center. Chris Pyman is in charge of marketing there, and I barely got the title out right, but we just call it the Sheldon.
Exactly. It kind of encompasses everything. Like you said, we're a concert hall and an art gallery and so much more.
Before we get back to this exciting year you have coming up, the Sheldon has an interesting history.
We do. The Sheldon was opened in 1912 as the home of the Ethical Society. So it was built for speakers, hence its perfect acoustics that we're known for.
Yes.
But they've always produced music too. They had chamber ensembles and other performers that performed over the years. And so when the Sheldon Arts Foundation took over in the late 80s, early 90s, it became a permanent concert hall and a permanent part of Grand Center.
Chris, you mentioned those perfect acoustics, and you're not kidding. I mean, it really does have a reputation for that. I mean, it really is unique in that regard.
Yeah, we are really lucky to have a hall like this in St. Louis. Many touring musicians call it the Carnegie Hall of the Midwest, and we like that. We'll take that designation. But yeah, it just lets us produce so many different types of music in a way that people don't usually get to hear.
I've introduced a number of individuals and groups over the years. I had the pleasure of doing that, and I have to say too, most people that go won't know about this, but it has the nicest backstage I have ever seen. It looks like you're in a millionaire's drawing room.
Well, that is somewhat accurate. When the Ethical Society built the Sheldon, that was their library. So as you know from being backstage, there's still bookcases that line the walls.
You know, wooden paneled walls.
Wooden paneled walls, a fireplace, and cozy furniture. And yeah, so another thing that artists really love is our green room.
And that's why the Sheldon is the perfect place
we
for
think
music
so. Thank you.
And art. Well, an exciting year ahead, and you've got so many. How do you put it? You've got so many series and so many events in a year's time. How many?
Well,
dozens.
We do overall over 350 events a year.
What?
So that includes our concert series, which we're about to talk about, but also our education programs for kids, rental events as far as weddings and other community events that we do for other organizations. So we're busy every day of the year.
Oh, before we get going though, I want to ask you about this music competition that's coming up.
Yes, so another fun thing that we're doing, we've partnered with Will DeWitt, who is the son of Bill DeWitt and Ira DeWitt, both prominent St. Louisans, obviously. And he is an amateur music producer, and his mom owns a record company, so he comes by it honestly. And he is looking for kind of the next big music star to come out of St. Louis. So we're helping to produce a contest called St. Louis Sound. And right now people can go to our website at thesheldon.org and submit an original song by themselves or their band, and they get a chance to win a performance at the Sheldon and a trip to Nashville to record their song and meet with music executives. So it's kind of like a America's Got Talent or Star Search or something along those lines, but for the St. Louis community. And we'll have a live concert event on June 7th where people can come and watch the finalists and see the final judging.
Well, when you say it's for musicians, so do you have to be in a band? Can it be an individual musician or an individual singer? Or what's the stipulation?
It can be an individual singer or a band of up to 6 people. We just ask that it's original music and that you only submit one song. And again, it's in any genre you can think of: country, hip hop, pop, rock, anything that you would think of when you think of those sort of performances.
And what's in it for the winner?
The winner gets a concert at the Sheldon on an agreed-to date in the future, as well as a trip to Nashville. So they'll get to meet with music executives. They'll get a chance to record the demo of their song and just kind of sort of start their career in meeting the people that'll help them along the way.
But you said there's a date when you have to submit this.
You have to submit by May 21st. The winners will be chosen in the live event on June 7th.
And who chooses the winners?
We're going to have a panel of music industry professionals. I don't know who those are yet, but it will include Will, of course, who is the producer of the event, and some other great folks that know the St. Louis music scene.
Well, that's exciting. And you've got some kind of golf thing going on, which I don't know what golf has to do with the Sheldon.
Well, you're going to find out this summer. The Sheldon Art Galleries is opening a fabulous and unique exhibit called Golf the Galleries. It opens on June 1st and will continue on through the summer, through August 12th, and it is an artist-designed miniature golf course inside the art galleries.
Do we bring our own putters or what?
We're going to have putters, we're going to have balls, we're going to have a snack bar, just like a regular mini golf course. But what's neat is that it's combining the visual arts with fun and play. So you'll see these very beautifully designed golf holes by Charles Huska.
Is that what we're looking at here?
Yeah, by architecture firms Canon and Arcturus. We have a lot of Justin King and other local artists have submitted designs that were chosen in a call to artists process over the last year. And you can come and play on the artwork. So it's just going to be really fun. It's really new for us and different, but we're hoping to make this an annual event. US Bank is our big sponsor for that, and they're making it possible for us to offer this to the community this summer. And it's going to be really neat. They're installing it right now. And like I said, the opening is June 1st, and tee times begin on June 3rd.
I haven't played golf in years and years. Do I need to brush up first?
Miniature golf, I think, does not require practice, just luck. So no practice required. Just come on down. And, we're going to have a volcano-themed hole and other things that are traditional kind of miniature golf, what you think of as miniature golf holes, but just done in such a beautiful and artistic way. It's going to be really fun.
Yeah, we always like the 19th hole the best.
Well, for us, it'll be the 10th hole, but the bar will be open in the evenings and on weekends for the golf, the galleries. Families are more than welcome to come. We have discounted prices for kids, but we're also going to be open extended hours all summer, including evenings and on Sundays, which we're normally not open on Sundays, so that as many people as possible can come and experience the exhibit. Again, we'll have food, we'll have the bar. It's going to be really a great thing.
I was glad to know you knew what I meant by the 19th hole.
Of course.
Right.
For us non-golfers, that's all that we know about.
Right. We wait for the golfers to get back.
Exactly.
So I guess you get 5 series, do you, at the Sheldon?
We have 5 set series that we sell subscriptions for, and then even more beyond that we sell on a non-subscription basis. So, yeah.
Well, let's start at the beginning, and we're going to look at which series first?
The jazz series.
Right, Rhythm and Jazz series.
Rhythm and Jazz, so we kind of renamed that series this year. It used to be strictly jazz.
And that begins in just days.
Well, we start selling the subscriptions in May. They just got started selling, and the series starts this fall.
And who we're looking at?
And this is John Baptiste. So everyone probably knows John Baptiste as the band leader of Stephen Colbert's Late Show. We've known John for a while. He was a student at Juilliard and came and did some workshops for us with high school students years ago. So he's been someone we've known for a while, and now that he's a big-time TV star, he still remembers us. And
what's he like?
He is the most delightful and just sweet person you can imagine. What you see on TV is what he is. He did a show for us a few years ago at the Sheldon, and it included a parade of the musicians through the concert hall, through the lobby, back onto the stage. He's from New Orleans, so he brings that spirit and that energy to the stage, and everyone just falls in love with him when they see him. So he's going to be doing a solo show.
In October.
In October, and that will kick off the Rhythm and Jazz series, which again, we're kind of expanding the jazz series a little bit to include a little more soul, a little more R&B, and that's when we get into Dee Dee Bridgewater, who's the next.
That's coming up in November, and I remember her when I was younger. She had a lot of hits on the radio at one time.
Yeah, absolutely. She is someone who is an internationally known star, and she's been kind of on the R&B side, she's been on the jazz side, on the soul side, and in this case, she's really focusing on her soul roots. She's a Memphis native, and she put together a group called the Memphis Soulphony, and so they're going to be really exploring that music of Memphis and just bringing a really soulful, beautiful show. And she's just, a star beyond compare.
Has she been here before?
We've had her at the Sheldon a few times. I believe now that she is based in Europe, but when she comes back to the States and tours, we always try to get her because she just is a tour de force. She's amazing.
Then in February of next year, 2019, that seems like a long way away, but it really will get here quickly. It'll get here quickly.
Yes.
Diane Reeves is a very popular artist.
We love Diane Reeves, and of course, her music director is Peter Martin, St. Louis native, an amazing piano player.
I know Peter very well.
Of course, Peter is so well known to St. Louisans, and he and she put on just an amazing show. We haven't had Diane at the Sheldon in many years, and so we're so glad to have her back. And again, she's somebody that crosses over into so many different music genres.
And she just won an award this year.
She did. She was named an NEA Jazz Master, which is one of the top designations that jazz musicians can get from the United States.
National Endowment of the Arts, NEA. And then I think in March, this is an artist that I'm not familiar with, so I'd like you to tell me about her, Elaine Elias.
Oh, yeah. So Eliane Elias, as she pronounces it, from Brazil. She is so delightful. She's a Brazilian piano player, and so she does have a lot of that bossa nova feel to her music, but she really is a jazz musician of top quality who can do any type of music. She has a new project out that's the music of the Man of La Mancha. So she is going to be performing a lot of that music when she comes next year.
Well, her name is spelled like Elaine. Would you pronounce it
It
again?
is Eliani Elias.
Wow.
Yeah, we just,
I like it better
wrong
that way.
syllable.
Okay, so that takes care of the rhythm and jazz series. And you also have a series involving folk music.
Yeah, so folk music has become one of our most popular genres.
Really?
Americana and string music, I think it's come a long way and has just reached a new level of sophistication, and we're finding more and more groups that fit that bill.
In October, Susan Werner.
Susan Werner. So she is a fabulous singer-songwriter that is just kind of known amongst the folk music circles as someone who is you have to see.
Supposed to be very innovative.
Yes, very innovative. She even does kind of put a little bit of jazz into her music. It's definitely going to be a folk show, but she does kind of cross the borders there, and we like that because our subscribers are so diverse. They're not just plugged into one type of music.
The group after that in this series in November will be a little bit different because it's bluegrass music.
Yes, bluegrass. So Hot Rise, they are a legendary group. They have been playing together for, I believe it's 40 years. And they're kind of a big deal at the Telluride Bluegrass Festival. Kind of the top bluegrass players play there every year, and they are legendary for their performances there. They recently reunited for their anniversary, and so this is going to be some legendary bluegrass people on stage.
Then in January of 2019, Carrie Newcomer.
Carrie Newcomer, again, one of our favorites. She is just a very introspective and just beautiful singer-songwriter, very much in the tradition of kind of the folk revival sort of musicians, but so much more modern, so contemporary in her thoughts, and she just brings kind of a spirituality to the music in the best way possible. People just feel good after they see her.
Mm-hmm. Then in March, Cherish the Ladies, Celtic music.
They are so much fun, and we have not had them back in so long. Our subscribers have been dying for us to bring them back. They are some of the top Irish performers in the world. They're all female, and they also have folks who step dance while they play. So you'll get a little bit of dancing as well.
So I can golf and step dance at the Sheldon.
Exactly.
That's pretty interesting.
We're very active.
The Del McCoury Band, they've been around a while. They're going to be performing in April.
They have, and again, a legendary bluegrass performer, Del McCoury.
Something like 60 years, right?
60 years, I believe. He just celebrated his 60th year of playing. He started out with all of the old guys, Scruggs and all of the legends of bluegrass. And he plays with his kids, which is neat.
Tubb and, right, I got all the names backwards, yeah.
Exactly, Tubbs and Scruggs.
Right.
His children are amazing bluegrass players as well.
Several of them are in this group, aren't they?
They are, exactly. So it's just always a family affair when they come, and we're looking forward to having them back.
All right. Well, we're talking about what's happening at the Sheldon in the next year, and we're going to take this little break, and we have more for you right after this.
Check. Oh, you got it. Since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Go on. No.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
I'm Steve Potter. Welcome back to City Corner, and today we're profiling the Sheldon Concert Hall and Art Galleries. Chris Pyman does their marketing, and she's with us there today. And it's the perfect place for a lot of things, but for art and music in particular.
We think so.
Who came up with that slogan?
It was a group effort. For years, just to kind of highlight our perfect acoustics, our logo and our motto was experience perfection. And that, it sells you a little bit, but the fact that we have this world-class art gallery is something that we really wanted to include with what we were, the message we were putting out to the public. So we just thought, it's the perfect place for music, but now also for art. So
Is the art gallery open on regular hours? Or?
we are open regular hours. We have free public hours from Tuesday through Saturday. And as we talked about earlier, we are expanding our hours for the Golf the Galleries exhibit. So we'll be open Tuesday through Sunday, and also further into the evenings than we normally are. There will be a charge to play the Golf the Galleries course, but you can come and look at the golf holes and experience the excitement of it for free. You can come in and enjoy it.
And didn't you have a little food thing going on there too?
Well, we do have a full bar that has some fun, snacks and things like that, but we're definitely planning on expanding that for the golf exhibit, especially. When you're playing miniature golf, you have to have,
that works up quite an
chips
appetite.
and candy. Exactly.
Even when you're not playing.
Exactly.
Well, let's go back to some of the series. We've gone over a few of them that's at the Sheldon. It's going to be at the Sheldon over the next year, and we have a category called Classical Concerts.
Yeah, so our Sheldon Classics concerts are 3 concert series that we do in conjunction with musicians from the St. Louis Symphony. So as we know, those are the top classical performers, not only in St. Louis, but in the country. So this year, our theme is milestones, and we're celebrating 3 different milestones that have happened at certain points in history. The first one is celebrating the 50th anniversary of the moon landing, which happens in 2019.
And the Science Center has a great exhibit about that going on right now,
Yes,
too.
I think it's so exciting that everyone is kind of reliving that milestone moment, literally. So we have Peter Henderson from the St. Louis Symphony leading that program, and he'll be doing Moonlight Sonata and Clair de Lune and all sorts of music inspired by the moon. Then we move on to a little bit more somber memorial, but it is the 75th anniversary of D-Day and the formation of the United Nations. So David Halen will be doing a program that salutes music from that time period, including Aaron Copland and other American composers. For a lot of people, after the war ended, it was a time of great hope, and the music from the time kind of reflected that. And then finally, we celebrate women's suffrage. So the 100th anniversary of women's suffrage takes place next year. And so we're doing a program of all female composers. And we will be featuring Erin Schreiber from the St. Louis Symphony, wonderful violinist.
What can you share about Erin's?
Erin is one of the most wonderful young players that the symphony has. She's the assistant concertmaster, and she's done a couple programs for us, and is just a dynamic performer and someone that I think audiences really relate to. And the fact that she and some of these symphony members will be doing female composers, which is unfortunately rare to see, is a really neat thing, I think. And just sort of as a side note to Sheldon history, the St. Louis League of Women Voters started and founded in the Sheldon Green Room. So as the Ethical Society, they hosted the St. Louis League of Women Voters. So women's suffrage is something that has been part of the Sheldon's history, and so we're excited to celebrate that.
I think our next on the agenda here is coffee concerts.
Yes, our most popular series by far. These are morning concerts where you come at 9, get a coffee and as many donuts as you can eat in an hour.
That'd be 2 dozen.
Right.
But do a lot of people really do that?
Oh yeah, it is absolutely one of our top selling subscription series. We also added a second date to every performance that is on the non-series side. So the public who's not subscribing can come on Wednesdays. The subscribers come on Tuesdays, and we have donuts for days.
And the coffee concerts begin in October.
They begin in October, and they feature all local musicians. So that's kind of a cool thing about the coffee series as well. We can highlight our fabulous St. Louis artists.
Is it Cornet Chop Suey?
Cornet Chop Suey, fabulous band. It's a multi-piece band. Many of St. Louis's top musicians, including some of the professors and folks from SIU Edwardsville, Brett Stamps, and other folks that have been around for a long time, are part of this band. And they always put on a really fun morning.
Then in November, is the Faiza?
Faiza Aaron Group. That's a new group for us, although we've known Faiza for a couple years.
Who is she?
She is from St. Louis, or she's originally from Turkey, but came to St. Louis for many years, returned home, but now is back. And she is a world-class jazz singer. She's been playing around town with different groups and at different clubs, but she's also a music educator, and she's been part of one of our educational programs for the last few years. So we thought it'd be great to bring her actual band to come and perform for adults. And she is just, she's doing a tribute to female jazz singers, and it's going to be wonderful.
In December, you have somebody that I'm a big fan of. I've known her for years, interviewed her for years, and seen her on stage countless times. I guess at the Muni and at stages, I
Yep.
think, and some great stuff. Zoe van der Haar.
Oh yeah, she is just a world-class performer. She has performed on Broadway. She toured with the first cast of A Chorus Line, and then came back to St. Louis and made it her home. And like you said, has become one of the musical theater world's most prominent performers. She has done a show similar to this for us for a couple of years. It's a Christmas show, and it's a lot of fun. It's a mix between secular and sacred songs, and she always throws in some surprises. And the musicians and performers that she has with her, it's like a mini Broadway review. It's just so well done on a small stage.
And she's a nice lady, too.
She really is.
Then looking ahead to March of 2019, the Wee Heavies.
The
Who are
Wee
they?
Heavies, they've become one of our absolute favorites. It is a group of 4 gentlemen that sing a cappella music, Scottish mainly. They're named after the Wee Heavy beer that many people may enjoy.
I'm not familiar with that.
I don't know if it makes them sing better, but they sure have a good time.
Does it make them sound better?
It does. They sound wonderful. They have a huge following in St. Louis, and they are backed by popular demand. Our subscribers really wanted to see them back again.
And then the Gaslight Squares.
Gaslight Squares, again, similar to Wee Heavies, it's young guys playing old-time music. They're led by T.J. Muller, who's become one of the kind of more prominent young jazz performers in St. Louis. They perform on Cherokee and other, clubs that many of our coffee concert subscribers would not necessarily go to. So we love introducing groups like that to our coffee concert audience. Again, just very young musicians that are playing old-time music.
Then the last coffee concert in May of 2019 is someone we know from the local theater scene, too.
Absolutely. Tim Shaw is, again, just one of the most respected theater performers out there. He is a wonderful singer. He runs the Cabaret Project, so he trains other cabaret performers to do what he does. And he's going to be doing music from the silver screen.
And tell me what I've got here. I've got a couple little booklets that you brought along.
Yes, these are brochures that many of your viewers will probably see in their mailbox soon, but also can be requested through the Sheldon. Our full gallery lineup for the summer, our full concert lineup for next season are all there. And again, subscriptions are on sale now for next season, but we'll be adding more and more concerts as the year goes on. So our website, thesheldon.org, is the best place to check for that.
And is that where you get these books or these
Yeah,
programs?
absolutely. Yeah, if you sign up for our mailing list, we can go ahead and send those out to you. And all that information is also available online.
What would you like to say about subscriptions and that sort of thing?
I think what's great about subscriptions is that many of our subscribers tell us they might not know all of the performers on the jazz series or on the folk series, but they're always surprised and delighted by what they see. So if someone has an interest in jazz or in folk, but they aren't necessarily familiar with everyone, I think give it a try. You save money, you get the same great seat for every show, but then you also might be introduced to somebody new.
Yeah, I know people that won't go see somebody they don't know, but I think it'd be kind of exciting.
Absolutely.
Take a chance, right?
Exactly, especially if you trust us and have seen things that you liked before, you're most likely gonna see it again.
Right. Let's talk about your Saturday matinee series. So those are Saturdays, is it like 11 a.m.?
11 a.m. They're perfect for families. They're a 1-hour program. So this is kind of our series that we encourage parents to bring children. We try to book the same type of genres that we do in the evenings, jazz, folk, sometimes classical, world music. So it's a good introduction to kids to that concert experience, but only for an hour.
I like the whole 1-hour concept thing.
Yeah, and then it's done by noon. You can have lunch, you can go to soccer practice and that sort of thing. And again, also featuring local musicians.
We were talking about Grand Center before. Boy, in the last 10 years, what's happened to Grand Center? Isn't it amazing?
It is amazing. I have been at the Sheldon for 20 years now, and
wow, you have seen some changes.
I have seen some changes, and it really is exciting.
It was like you, the Fox, and the Powell Hall when you were there, right?
Right. That was kind of the anchors, and now, of course, we have such a great visual arts scene. The art galleries opened in '98. The Contemporary, the Pulitzer, the Dark Room, which features art, the Moto Museum, the International Photography Hall of Fame. We have St. Louis Public Radio, KDHX, all these media partners that are there, Channel 9.
What's the outdoor arts event they do for a week? The Fringe Festival?
Oh, yeah, Fringe Festival, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, the Fringe Festival, which is so cool and just brings such an edgier, kind of cooler vibe to the neighborhood. New restaurants are popping up. There's so much going on. And you know, it really is something where those of us who love the arts and those who work in it usually do. It's so exciting to me personally and professionally because there's so much that I get to experience and be a part of that I wouldn't get to otherwise. So it's a really great neighborhood to be in.
Well, let's go back to the Saturday matinees at 11 a.m. that we were talking about. In February, you begin with Anita Jackson. Who is she?
Yes, Anita Jackson is an amazing jazz singer. She has not been at the Sheldon before, which is unbelievable to me because she is just one of the top performers around. She plays at the Dark Room and a lot of other local clubs, and she's going to be doing a tribute to Ella Fitzgerald.
Wow.
So everyone, that's perfect music for everyone.
I saw Ella Fitzgerald live in concert once at Wolf Trap Park outside of D.C. Something I'll never forget.
I imagine, I am sure, because obviously just an amazing legend.
Anita Jackson would be great to see then.
Yes.
Then in April, someone else we all know pretty well from St. Louis, Dan Rubright.
Dan Rubright, yeah, longtime St. Louis performer and educator. He has a great group that he plays with, and they're going to be playing his original compositions. And they are definitely a little more progressive. They're in the jazz vein, but he is such an approachable person, an approachable musician. It's going to be a great program, I think, for anyone who likes guitar music.
In May, I've known the actor Ben Nordstrom for years and years. Boy, he was a regular at stages, I guess, for the longest time, right?
Oh, yeah, and anyone who's known Ben or seen Ben knows that you cannot be not entertained when you see him. He is fabulous.
Right, and he's doing something with a gentleman by the name of Steve Neal.
Steve Neal, they're longtime collaborators, and they are just wonderful together. They're doing the music of Elton John and Billy Joel. So, of course, those two legends have toured together many times. And the music that they're going to be doing is going to be some familiar, some maybe a little more obscure songs, but it will be guaranteed to be entertaining when it comes from those two guys.
Let's talk about a couple more things real quick. Yeah. Special concerts. There's one in September.
Yes, so in September, we've got Gillian Welch and Dave Rawlings coming back, followed by Julia Bullock, who is a St. Louis native. And she
tell me about her.
Is one of the fastest rising opera stars in the country. She has performed with us one time before, and we're partnering with Opera Theater in bringing her in. And even if you're not an opera fan, she is such a dynamic and beautiful performer. Everyone will love her.
Let's see if we can get one or two in real quick. In the World Music Series in November, it's Leela Downs.
Leela Downs. We have this wonderful new series sponsored by the Whitaker Foundation called the World Music Series. And we also have Ladysmith Black Mambazo and Anushka Shankar.
And just a second we have left in September, we've got some hip hop going on.
Yes, our first ever hip hop series co-presented with the Ilphonics, one of the best hip hop groups in town.
So get your groove on, or
absolutely. It's in the Sheldon Ballroom, so we'll have some room to dance and be casual and experience some of that great hip hop that comes from St. Louis.
And again, just recap that contest coming up, sound concert.
So St. Louis Sound Music Competition, entries by May 21st. Winner chosen June 7th. Go to thesheldon.org to enter and to learn more.
Mm-hmm. What kind of participation do you expect?
You know, we're really not sure. This is kind of a first-time thing for us, but we've had a lot of interest so far, so we're hoping for a good number.
And then golf at the Sheldon. I think that deserves to be mentioned again.
I do too. Golf at the Galleries, June 1st through the summer.
Chris Byman, thank you so much for bringing us up to date. Go to the Sheldon Concert Hall and Art Galleries and check it out for sure. You'll find more information at thesheldon.org. Chris, always a pleasure to see you. Have a great year at the Sheldon. I love the place, and I'll be there often.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I'm Steve Potter. Thanks for watching. Join us next time. See ya.